Morning guys, welcome to day 3. You have made it. So a little bit about the science today of why we are choosing to get up at this ridiculous time of the day. So I've mentioned in a couple of the videos our circadian rhythm, so that's our natural body clock, and they are generally synced around the light and darkness. Now that's great in the summer for us, isn't it? Because when we're getting up at 5 a.m. it's got light and we're getting out there, and we're probably going to bed of a night time when it gets dark. But it's equally as important in the winter. So although we are getting up before it gets light, the fact is when it does get light, we're awake, we're energized, and we are ready to go. If I think back to my time in the military, if we were out on exercise somewhere, or we were on an operation, then we would have what they call the stand to, and that was just before dawn. We would all be getting out of bed, and we would all be wide awake, and we'd be there, and we would looking out for the enemy, for the presence of an attack at the time an attack was going to come in. And as human beings, that's what we are also made to do, because if any sort of threats were going to come to us back in our old days, then they would probably come around about that time, so in the morning and at night as well. So we can sync ourselves into that as well. And one of the things that getting up early in the morning does is that it kickstarts our metabolism, it gets our blood flowing, and basically it just gets us ready for the day out there as well. And if you look up Andrew Huberman, who is one of the neuroscientists based at Stanford or Harvard or one of them, I don't know, he's done an awful lot of work on this as well, and he has the Huberman protocol, which involves all sorts of weird and wonderful things. But the main tenet of that is getting up early in the morning and getting out and doing some exercise. And if we look at our sort of famous CEOs as well, if we look at the likes of Richard Branson, very famous for getting up at 4:30 every single morning and getting out there and knocking out the park. And it's good enough for Richard Branson, and it's good enough for the rest of us, isn't it, as well? And it increases our productivity, because by the time everybody gets up out of bed and everybody else is basically crawling out and is tired and is still recovering from the night before, we are already on it. We've been up, we've had that time to ourselves, and we've been able to go out and start the day in a positive way. One of the things I also wanted to talk about today as well was you can't burn the candle at both ends. So one of the things you've got to ensure you're doing if you are getting up at 5 a.m. in the morning is going to bed early. You can't still go to bed at 1 o'clock in the morning and get up at 5 and feel refreshed. And so you need to start to bring that back. So if you're going to bed at the minute 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, as some people do, the best way to start to bring that back is just by 15 minutes every other day. So bring your the first couple of days, just keep your bedtime the same and get up at 5 in the morning, and you'll be tired enough to start to bring that back by 15 minutes a day, so that you can then basically get to bed at a decent time and get your rest in before you have to get up and do your 4 pillars in the morning. Brilliant. Okay, so well done for getting this far. Let's get up, let's smash it, no matter what the weather. Let's get outside, let's spend that 10-15 minutes outside, let's get the wind, get the rain in our face, and hopefully at some point, if it's not summer where you are yet, then you can get some sun on your face in a few weeks or months time. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you again tomorrow.